Okay. So welcome to another IELTS lesson. And my name is Ruth, and this is a free class offered to you by Sita. So along with all our other migration services, we also provide free PTE IELTS and NATI coaching. We also give students aid or help in getting their admissions in the US, UK, and the Canada, and helping them process their PR in the US, UK, and Canada. So if any of you or your friends require either of these services, feel free to approach us. So the PT classes are conducted from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock Monday to Friday. That's Canberra time, 11 to 1. And the IELTS classes are conducted 2 to 4 every day from Monday to Friday, Canberra time. Today, we'll discuss task 2 of writing in the IELTS test, or for the IELTS test. So task 2 is exactly the same for the GT test taker as well as an academic test taker, whereas task 1 varies because task 1, the academic test takers usually have to describe a graph or a process or a pie chart, a map or something of that sort, while the general test training test taker is usually writing a letter, or is actually writing a letter for his or her task 1. Task 2 is exactly the same, and you will be having these kinds of essays: advantages, disadvantages, problems and solution, opinion-based discussions, causes and effects. So throughout our lessons, we've seen how to write an opinion-based essay, how to write a discussion-based essay. These are the same. And we've also seen how to do one advantage, disadvantage kind of an essay. We'll be dealing with advantage and disadvantage kind of an essay today as well. And also we'll see about what we can do to improve our sentence structure and improve our GRA points. So sentence structure will be focused on today, and we'll look at lexicals a little bit, about passive voices, on how to write using passive voices, and a bit of punctuation, not a lot, just a bit of punctuation to help you get your band a little bit higher for your GRA as well as your lexicals. Okay, so I think I know that both of you, Crystal and Ira, both of you were there in previous writing task too, so you don't need a big introduction. So I'll just give you, so what should your essay consist of? It should consist of an introduction. So an introduction, at least 2 body paragraph, and a conclusion. So an introduction is very important because that's the first impression that you give to your examiner, and it's going to mark your score or right there at the introduction, and then move it as he keeps reading it. So it's very important that you make a good impression, a good start to your essay. And you should know that since it's not marked by a computer, the opinions or the marking is kind of objective. It's kind of subjective. So it depends on the examiner to examiner. So you have to make sure that you give a very standard, whatever he expects in your introduction has to be there. So this is a formula for your introduction. This is how your introduction should be for your band 7 and above. First thing is you paraphrase your topic sentence in your own words, and then add an extra sentence just to support the paraphrased sentence, and then focus on your question in your own words. So say, although there has been many advantages to this, or although there are many problems because of this, it's a popular debate, or that there are more advantages when compared to the disadvantages. However, in this essay, I will shed light on both sides of the coin, or I will shed light on my stance of view. So if you are writing an opinion-based essay, then you will tell, I firmly believe, or I am of the opinion that so, so, and so. And in this essay, I will attempt to substantiate my stand. I will attempt to make my stance more stronger. I'll substantiate my stance by providing proper examples and all that. By providing firm points and examples to support them. So if you're writing an opinion-based essay, then make sure that you express your opinion right in the introduction itself. It's quite important. But today we are going to see an advantage, disadvantage kind of an essay. So for that, you should have your paraphrasing as the first sentence, or you can have a general statement of the topic if you want to, but start with paraphrasing. It's more easier that way. Paraphrase your topic, add a supporting sentence, then tell your opinion, or you could say there is a popular debate or if based on the advantages and disadvantages of this topic, and in this essay I will shed light on both the advantages and disadvantages of this topic. So you're giving the reader your plan while you're doing this, and you're focusing on your question by telling there is a popular debate about the advantages and disadvantages of this topic. However, in this essay I will shed. So you're stating that this is an advantage disadvantage kind of an essay, and you're giving the reader or the examiner a plan as to how your essay is going to proceed. So this is an example introduction. So you'll start with a general statement if you want. So if it's something about teaching, you would say, over the last few years, it has become less common for people to become teachers. And then supporting statement for this. Today, graduates often consider teaching to be an attractive job, and many people want to do other jobs instead. In my country, the problem is becoming worse and worse, important to take steps to make. So this is a problem solution kind of an essay. So you're already telling that in my country, the problem is getting sorry. So you're already telling the reader, and in my country the problem is becoming worse and worse. It's important to take steps to make teaching more attractive. So you're telling what kind of question is this. This is a problem and a solution kind of an essay. It's important to take steps to make teaching look more attractive. This essay will look at the main causes of the problem and propose some solution, and then you give the reader a plan. So this is a model formula for your introduction. This is what is expected of you. So before the paraphrasing, you can write a general statement, which I've seen many students do, and if you're doing that, keep it up. But if not, keep this simple and use this as your go-to. So far, are we all clear? Ira and Crystal, do you have any doubts regarding what we just discussed?
All clear.
So for introduction, you should pay attention to, okay, what tense is my topic, use what tense is my topic in, is it? So you can use, what, even not just for your introduction, how to use your tenses. So if you're talking about general statements and facts, you're going to speak in the present tense. So you would say in today's era it is found that. So see that you speak in the present tense or the simple present tense when you're talking about general statements and facts. When you're talking about the recent changes, then you use the past perfect tense. So past perfect tense is having the auxiliary verb have, and your main verb is in the V3 form. So you will tell, it has been found in recent researches. So am I pronouncing it correctly? So you will be talking about the recent changes in this tense. Okay, this is just a heads up for you to form your sentence. Take a picture if you want to, and then to talk about things which are changing right now. So you would say the government is taking steps. The governments around the world are taking steps. So you use a progressive or the future tense. Okay, the present future continuous tense. Can you please take a picture of this? This will help you to see that your tenses and your GRA is at a higher score. I think we have another student who's joined us. Hi, Abhishek. Hope you're doing well.
Hello, ma'am. Very good. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. So we're just going to do a task 2, and I'm just introducing how to do it. So your introduction, just what you've missed is, what should your introduction be, or what is the formula for your introduction? So if you're looking at 7 plus and above, this is what the examiner is looking at. So at first, you'll have to write a general statement. Well, this is optional if you want, if you can. But the next one is you paraphrase, So you paraphrase the topic sentence in your own words. Okay, this is your first step. You write a paraphrase of whatever is the topic. See that you do not use the same words as in the question. Your vocabulary should change. And then the second point is you add an extra sentence to support the first sentence. And then you focus on the question in your own words. Suppose it's an opinion-based essay, you will state your opinion right there. If it's a problem and solution kind of an essay, you would say that there have been many problems because of this, and certain solutions have been taken. So you're just telling the reader as to what kind of essay are you writing about. So if it's an advantage and a disadvantage kind of an essay, you would say there has been a popular debate about the advantages and disadvantages. However, I'm going to, in this essay, shed light on the advantages and the disadvantages of this topic. Although there are many advantages to this topic, one must be careful, or one must be aware of the disadvantages before making a decision. So in your own words, you're making the reader understand this is an advantage disadvantage kind of an essay. And after that, another sentence will tell the reader or the examiner how this essay is going to proceed. So you will tell, in this essay, I'm going to shed light on the two sides of the coin. In this essay, I'm going to present my point of view, or I'm going to substantiate my point of view with examples and arguments, with rigid arguments and examples. So this is the formula for your introduction. So your introduction should contain paraphrasing, one supporting statement to support it. Then you tell what kind of question is it? Is it advantage, disadvantage? Is it problem solution? Is it causes and effects? Is it your own opinion? So you make it known to the reader in your own words. That's one sentence. And the last sentence will give the reader a plan, or the examiner in this case, a plan as to how your essay is going to proceed. Okay, so don't worry, I'll explain this, but I want you guys to understand this is the formula. So this is a model introduction. So if this is the introduction, say, so over the last few years, so the question here was, nowadays teaching, no one finds teaching very alluring. So many people don't choose the teaching profession. That's the question. So you write a model introduction like this. Over the last few years, it has become less common for people to become teachers. So you have paraphrased, now you put a supporting statement. Today, graduates often consider teaching to be an attractive job, and many people prefer to do or want to do other jobs instead. And then you tell the reader what kind is it. In my country, the problem is becoming worse and worse. So you're explaining this is a problem kind of an essay, and it's important to take steps to make teaching more attractive. So you're telling this is a problem and solution kind of an essay. So you're making the reader, you're giving a hint to the examiner. And then finally, you are giving your plan. This essay will look at the main causes of the problem and propose some solutions. Okay. So when you are talking about, so take a picture of this because this is important for you to help improve your GRA. If you're talking about general statements and facts, so you use present tense in the simple present tense. So you say like this, over the last few years, it has become less common for people to become teachers. So I know it is in the passive voice, but you use the simple present tense. You say it is less common. So instead of it has become, you would say it is less common for people to choose teaching as a profession. So you talk about general statements and facts throughout your essay in the simple present tense, talking about recent changes. You would talk about it in the present perfect tense. So that present perfect tense has your auxiliary verb, and it has a main verb in the V3 form. So you would use sentences like, in the recent study conducted by this university, or a recent study has been conducted by this university. In the recent study conducted by this university, it has been proved. So you use the auxiliary verb and then the V3 form of the main verb. And then if you're talking about things that are changing right now, you would use your future tense in the ing form. So you would use present, future continuous tense, like you would use the government has already, or the government is already taking steps to solve this problem. So this is how you do it. Oh, sorry, you would use the present continuous tense. Did I say future? You would use the present continuous tense here. So the present progressive tense, you would say the government is taking steps to solve this problem. You'd use the present continuous tense over here. Is this clear, this one? Any doubts regarding this?
Nope.
Okay. So this is how you will write an introduction. Nowadays, if the question is about taking an year out to study or live abroad, you would write something like this. Nowadays, taking a year out to live or study abroad is becoming increasingly popular. And then you put a supporting statement for many people, especially the adults, young adults, a chance to spend an extended period is attractive one. And then you give the reader what kind of an essay is this. However, there are both pros and cons to deciding to do this. And then you tell your plan in this essay, what you're going to do. And so this is how you do it. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is take a look at this first question. What are the pros and cons for children watching television? And can you guys, I'll give you 3 minutes. Can you write an introduction? I just want to see if you're clear with what I told you. Or you want me to repeat it, I can do that. But if you try it, I will check it for you. So can you write for the first one? What are the pros and cons for children of watching? I mean, of children watching television. I'm sorry about this. What are the pros and cons of children watching television? And I'll give you 3 minutes to do that. Can you
Okay.
do that? Okay. So your time starts now. You can either put it in the chat or in the Word document, but I want to see an introduction.
So it's like, unlike ancient people way of spending time with their family and work,
Mm-hmm.
nowadays kids seem to be more attractive towards TV channels for entertainment in their free time.
Okay. Is that all?
Yeah.
So that's the paraphrasing, and
Oh, we had to write the whole?
yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's okay. So you wrote. So your time's up. So so you've written, unlike ancient people's way of spending time with their family,
And
young children today are attracted or attractive.
I seem to be more attractive.
Ed or IVE.
IVE.
No, the answer is, I mean, you have to write it. The young children seem to be more attracted
Attracted. Sorry. Yeah, attracted towards TV
towards TV channels for
channel.
entertainment.
Yeah, in their free time.
Okay.
I had
For in
it
the
way too earlier, but I wasn't sure whether it's right or not. So sorry, I didn't know.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. So I was just wanting. I had told about an introduction, but that's okay. You paraphrased it. So after this, that's your um, starting sentence, or that's your general statement in the beginning. So
Yeah.
after that, you can just tell what are the pros and cons. So you could say there is a popular debate as to how, or as to the advantages and disadvantages, or there's a popular debate that or there are several arguments which state that the television is harmful for young children. In this
So
essay,
yeah, I've thought of something like just
okay,
an extended version of this. So there has been a popular debate about the advantage and disadvantages of watching television as a part of entertainment. In this essay, I'm going to throw some light on both the sides of watching
sure,
televisions for entertainment, and would also stress upon the advantages of watching television.
yeah. So that's pretty good. That's the way to write it. Ira, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Do you want to share your screen or?
I actually wrote it down. Can I read it to you?
Okay.
Or my handwriting is really bad today. So
That's okay.
can I read it?
Yes.
Or are you asking it for punctuation? Like, do you want to see it for punctuation?
It would have been good, but if you're comfortable only.
Uh, okay, I can click a picture and share. Just give me
Okay,
2 minutes.
no problem.
You can take the next one by that time.
All right. Crystal is at work, so she won't be writing, I think. She'll turn it on and she's at work, I guess.
Oh,
That's okay, you take your time. Meanwhile, Abhishek, can you think of this as well? So both of these are advantages and disadvantages. So when you're writing, if they ask you pros and cons, you can write it as advantage, disadvantage, just to avoid repeating the vocabulary. And
Sure.
if they are asking advantage, disadvantage, you can always write it as pros and cons.
Okay, yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
Sorry, you just changed the slide, ma'am. So if I could
Oh,
read that
oh,
again.
sure, sure, sure.
Pros and cons of using CCTV camera to fight crime. Okay,
I mean, just try it. You don't have to show me or anything. Just for you to,
practice.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. In today's, let me, I don't know if I can rotate it. Okay. In today's modern technology, in today's world, so world has to be with an L. Modern technology plays an important part in every individual's life. It is irrefutable that the television otherwise, so you shouldn't put in otherwise. Your mind was running, but your hand was slow. That's why. Otherwise called the idiot box, is fascinated by or is an object of fascination. So instead of fascinated, you when you write fascinated, you will tell it is irrefutable that TV, otherwise called the idiot box. So instead of if you write is fascinated, you're telling the TV is fascinated. So you should tell is an object of fascination, fascination of the majority of kids across the globe. Some people argue that TV helps in overall growth and relieving stress after school hours. But however, so you can't put two connectors, either but or however.
oh, right.
So, however, there are some drawbacks of watching it. In this essay, I will elaborate. No need into. We'll just tell. I will elaborate the advantages and disadvantages of viewing television. So, for television, you used TV. You use the idiot box. You can also use words like the small screen.
Right.
Then what else you could use? Words like programs telecasted on the small screen, telecasted programs, TV shows, something like that.
Okay.
So this was fine. In today's world, modern technology plays an important part in every individual's life. It is irrefutable that TV, otherwise called the idiot box, is an object of fascination by or of. So no need by.
So
So it is
fascination of or fascination
is
for?
the object of fascination of majority of kids across the globe. Some people argue that TV helps in the, so you should put an article there,
Mm-hmm.
in the overall growth and relieving stress after school hours. However, there are some drawbacks of watching it, or there are some drawbacks of, so we have to use a bit of hedging. So,
Mm-hmm.
however, there tends to be, so that is your cautious language. However, there tends to be um, some drawbacks of excess TV watching or excessive TV watching. In this essay, I will elaborate no need into, I'll elaborate the advantages and disadvantages of watching television.
Right.
So,
Thank
all
you.
right, no problem. So we'll move on. So that should be your introduction. So we'll talk about hedging a little bit before we
I've tried something for the second one. Shall I go for
Yeah,
it?
yeah. You want to read it or you want to?
Yeah, I want to see if it's correct or not, the way I've started this. So,
Okay.
okay. So I've started it like this. Security of homes and offices have always been the top priority from ancient time itself. And with the emergence of technology in this era, the use of CCTV cameras have boomed enough to control illegal activities in the society. And then the advantages and giving the reader your plan. So is the paraphrasing okay?
So, can you please read the first statement once again?
Yeah. So okay.
Abhishek? Abhishek? You told about security, I know, but what did you say from in the ancient time?
Sorry, my internet connection is not stable. I'm trying to connect it through my hotspot. Please
Oh,
give me a moment.
no problem.
I'm sorry about that. Homes and offices have always been the top priority from ancient time itself. And with the emergence of technology in this era, the use of CCTV cameras have boomed enough to control illegal activities in the society.
Okay,
So
so
that's
and what? Yeah, so that paraphrasing is okay, but emergence of could be advancement of technology because emergence means an entry, right? So
yeah,
advancement means advancement, and instead of itself, from the ancient days itself, or you could say right from the ancient era or right from the ancient days instead of that word itself.
right from the ancient. Okay.
Okay, let's move on to the conclusion. So, conclusion is also important because your band score is determined for the last time, right? Just seconds after he reads your conclusion. So, it's important that you give the examiner a good conclusion. This is your model conclusion formula. It should consist of a general statement, a one sentence summary of all that you have written. So it should just be a simple statement which is giving a summary of all that you have written, and you should avoid the repetition of vocabulary. So if you've used television a lot in your essay, or you've used programs in television, you could use the small screen, or like Ira wrote, the idiot box at sometimes, or something of that sort, to avoid the repetition of vocabulary. And then you restate your opinion in your conclusion. So this is what your conclusion should consist of: a general one statement summary. It's either 3 or 4 sentences. That's what your conclusion should be. So it should have a summary of the entire thing in a statement, and then you restate your opinion and you focus on some main points by using those vocabularies that you've not already used. So this is just a model conclusion. So you could use lexicals, or you could use connecting words like to sum up, as a conclusion, to conclude, then this based on the arguments outlined, all things considered, based on the arguments outlined. Starting life in a foreign country is never easy. Then you're restating this: one needs to weigh the advantages of a better lifestyle, weather, and so on, not neglecting the disadvantage. So, if it's an advantage, disadvantage, this is a very good way to do it. So, you put your summary like this: one needs to weigh, one needs to consider the advantages of something and something, and so on, not neglecting the disadvantages of this, and this that comes along with it. Okay, and then you restate your opinion. In my opinion, if one has the right attitude, the pros of moving abroad is eventually surpassing the disadvantage. So you're giving your opinion once again. So give me a minute. I'm sorry, I just needed to include a word. So here, can you see my screen now? So over here, okay, over here, the foreign country is never easy. One needs to weigh the advantages. So here you can use the word weigh or carefully consider the advantages of this, not neglecting this, this, and this. Okay, so this is how you give a one sentence summary. Is this clear? And then, in my opinion, and you restate your opinion again. That's how you write your conclusion. Can you take a picture if you want to of
Sure.
your conclusion formula and the next one? Let me know once you've finished so that I can move on.
I'm done.
Okay.
Can you go to the next slide, please?
Yeah. Finished?
Yeah. So
Okay.
my question is, ma'am,
Yeah.
if we just consider writing one specific format, as you said, for advantages and its disadvantages, yeah.
Yeah.
So that will be even easier to save up the time, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just to give you an idea, and this will help you to, you can use better words or something, but this is just a model. You can keep it if you like, it doesn't matter. So, but just a model for you how to put both your summary in one sentence. What can you do? How to write a one sentence summary. So it's just that idea, an outline, but you can keep this if you like this way of writing. You can always use this for every essay, every advantage, disadvantage, doesn't matter.
Sure, this looks good.
Okay, so I'll move on. So first thing that you have to do is spend about 4 to 5 minutes planning. So always ask your question. Go look at your keywords. Okay, so this is how you write your summary, or I'm sorry, this is how you write your synonyms, and you have to find your keywords. So find your keywords. Give me a minute. I'm just gathering my thoughts. Okay. Uh, so I have two things that I have to discuss with you: how to write your synonyms and how to right. Okay. Let me start off with the planning. So first thing that you have to do for your advantage disadvantage kind of an essay is ask what is good about, suppose this is your question. So this is your question. These days, give me a minute. Okay. If this is your question, oh my God. If this is your question, these days more and more people are going to other countries for significant periods of time, either to find a job or to study. There are clearly many benefits in doing so. But people who live abroad can also face some difficulties. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of living and working in a foreign country. This is your thing. Now you make a plan. So for you to write the advantage and disadvantage of it, you ask yourself questions. Okay, what is good about people leaving their home country and migrating? And you find two good points and along with a reason. So what is good about people living, and this is how your plan should look like. Okay, why do people leave and what is good and bad about it? They leave because of climate change has made the rainfall in their area unpredictable, and people are depending on rain. They cannot grow their crops, thus they economically fail. They also move to other country maybe to escape persecution. They're being persecuted for their religious or political beliefs, and they become refugees. So try and understand, is this answering the question? So like this, you generate your idea. This will help you to answer it. Now I want you to pay attention to this. Can you see this grid? I think Ira is familiar because she has taken one or two classes. But Abhishek and Crystal, this is a grid where you divide your page into two. This is how you're going to plan. So there are two things: going abroad to study, going abroad to work. And this grid on the top left corner, what is good about going abroad to study? And you put your points. Okay, better education. You can come back and help to support your family. You can come back and live a better live in a better standard of living in your home country. So all this is good about going abroad to study. Now, your bottom left corner will contain what is bad about going abroad to study. What are the challenges that you'll face? You'll face language barriers, you'll feel lonely, you might fall into bad company. All this are the bad things about going abroad. So advantages and disadvantages. Now, your second topic was going abroad to work. What is good about it? Can make more money, so financial improvement, advancement, then better education. So if you learn there, or someone learns there, you get a better education for your children. If you have children, you can learn new skills. Then what is bad about it? Maybe higher salary, low salary, and maybe high cost of living. So the salary and cost of living could be imbalanced. Then you're uprooted from your support network back home. So you would be by yourself solving your own problems. So this should be done in the first 3 or 4 minutes. And I know this looks very simple, but this will help you to solve your or to generate your ideas very effectively. So divide your sheet into 4 and write the advantages and disadvantages. So you wrote about, we had a topic about pros and cons of television, right? So children watching television. So there you don't have to divide a 4 block grid, because it's only one topic. What is good and bad about watching television? So you divide it into 2 maybe. So watching television, children watching television. What is good information around the world. They receive improve their linguistic skills or conversational skills, and they have a world knowledge, or they become worldly wise. What is bad about it? They could be distracted from their goals, could cause addiction in them, and they might adopt wrong role models, and all that could be your disadvantage. So you make a grid and try and understand what to write for each. Now, before we move on, okay, is this clear about your planning? So you know how to do your introduction now, you know how to do your conclusion now. For your body paragraph, you first make a plan. Okay, this is my plan to make a body paragraph. Is this clear?
Yeah, this is clear.
Yes.
Okay, we move forward. So we look at our body paragraph. So always when you write it in the view that the examiner has not seen the rubric. So you write it with a viewpoint that your examiner is unaware. He has not seen your rubric. He has no clue what the question is. So the rubric is your instruction, your question. So you write it with a viewpoint he doesn't know anything, and you have to explain everything. So to do this, you have to start introducing your idea. What should your body paragraph consist of? Your body paragraph is always revolving around one central idea. So there is a topic sentence for each body paragraph. So your first job is to introduce your topic sentence. So maybe you're writing in the first body paragraph, you're writing about children being addicted to television. So you would start with, there are many disadvantages. So you're introducing your topic sentence. So you would say there are many disadvantages of children watching television. One of the most preponderant ones, or one of the most dangerous one, is the addiction that it causes in children. Okay, so you're introducing your topic sentence. Every paragraph is revolving around one topic sentence. You're introducing your topic sentence, you're telling, okay, so it causes addiction in children. Now you're going to explain about it. So that is what your body paragraph will consist of. You introduce your topic sentence and you elaborate on it. Is this clear? So
Can you
the
explain this one more time, ma'am, if it's okay?
So when you're writing your body paragraph, there should be at least 2 body paragraphs that's expected of you. I'll explain this in detail. I'm just giving you a brief introduction to body paragraph. So we saw what they want us to do in our introduction. What should be there in my conclusion to get my band 7 plus. Now, what should my body paragraph consist of? Each body paragraph is revolving around one central idea. So you made a plan about the good and bad, right? So what is good about watching television, what is bad about watching television. Now imagine you're writing the body paragraph. Now you made a plan, you're going to put your plan into the paragraphs. So when you're putting your plan, you can't put all your ideas in one paragraph. So each idea, each point should be, one paragraph should contain only one point. Suppose you're talking about the television addiction in children, the entire paragraph should be talking about the television addiction in children. You can't say television addiction in children, but there are also good about it. You can't put all your thoughts in one sentence. So each paragraph should revolve around one central idea. So each paragraph should start with a topic sentence. It's called topic sentence. What is the topic of that paragraph? Suppose you're talking about addiction, you'll tell, of the many, or though television viewing has several disadvantages, addiction in children is one of the most dangerous one. Or addiction it brings in children, or children being addicted to TV viewing is one of the preponderant ones, or is one of the most preponderant ones. So you are telling the examiner, this is what your body paragraph is consisting of. This is what you're going to talk about in this body paragraph. Is this clear?
Yeah, about addiction, yes.
Yeah. So these are the ways that you can begin your body paragraph. One of the main advantages, one of the best things about, on the other hand, on the one hand, firstly, secondly, all these are the ways that you could talk about, or you could begin your topic sentence. Ira, you're familiar with all this, right?
Yes, yes, I'm all good.
So this is
Okay.
how we start the body paragraph, and has to have at least two paragraphs in them, and both the
Yeah.
paragraphs can start with either of the bullet points. Yeah.
Huh. So we made a plan here, na? See, we've made a plan. What is good and what is bad. Huh? So you've written better education. This is good about going abroad. So you're telling one of the main advantages of going abroad is a better education a person can obtain, or a wide education that a person can obtain. So you're telling, firstly, or going abroad has several advantages. One of the best one, or one of the biggest advantage, is the better education a person can obtain. So you giving the examiner, this paragraph is only going to talk about the good things
Good.
and the better education here. Clear?
Very clear.
Okay. Now we'll talk about something called hedging. So this is very important when you're doing your body paragraph. I know hedging sounds fancy, but if you forget the term, don't worry. So what you have to do is to make your language sound very uh, academic. Sorry, academic is wrong pronunciation. So if we should use certain hedging expressions. So instead of telling, in some cases, the majority of the time, generally speaking, for many, all this is called hedging. So instead of telling, um, it's extremely difficult to integrate in a new society. Instead of telling, it is one of the disadvantages of moving abroad is, you might say, a person might find it, or you might find it very difficult to integrate. You might find it very difficult to adjust um, with the new culture, or you might face a big culture shock, or you will face, oh, is one of the biggest disadvantages is the culture shock faced by us, or something like that. So you're generalizing by telling that everyone who moves abroad will be hit by a culture shock. But you instead of writing it like that, generalizing, we use, so we get marked down if we generalize too much. So when we were talking about television, we spoke about addiction. Suppose I tell, uh, most children watching television are addicted, so to it. So that's generalizing. So to avoid that, what we do, we would use words like, in majority of the cases, in numerous studies have proved that children who watch extensive television are, in some way, or children who watch extensive television have a tendency, so, or lean toward, you're just not generalizing, you're using very cautious language. So instead of telling, it's like telling, um, um, because we are all Indians, I'll just talk about us, so that no one will be offended. So if I use a word like, um, all Indians are loud, or in Indians are it's very difficult to work with Indians because they are loud or something. It's generalizing every Indian to be a loud person. But in such cases, you use words like, um, though there are many advantages of becoming, of working with the hardworking Indians have a tendency, the hardworking, so you're using very cautious language, you're putting cushions everywhere. The hardworking Indians often, or the hardworking Indians sometimes have a tendency to be too loud or to be too clear, or with the view of being too clear, Indians tend to lean towards the louder nature of talking or something like that. So you're, instead of telling all Indians are loud, you're using a very cautious language. That's called hedging. So you use words like in some cases, majority of the time, generally speaking, for many. So you use words like this for hedging. So this is one way to practice it. You use words like in majority of the cases, in many cases. For some people might find the hardworking Indians to be too loud or something like that. So you would use cautious language or hedging while writing. If you generalize, you will be marked down. Okay, so please don't generalize your task achievement, you will be marked down. So try not to generalize. So before we continue, I know I have taken this many times, but just for us for today, there are 4 factors that your writing task 2, you're marked for. 4 things for band 7 and above: task response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resources, and grammar range and accuracy. So for you to get your band 7 or band 8 or band 9, you'll have to get 7, 7, 7, 7, or 8, 8, 8 for all these 4 factors. What do they mean? Task response is you're addressing all parts of the task. They're asking for an advantage, disadvantage essay. You are giving them an advantage, disadvantage essay. You're addressing every part in that question. Then you achieve your task response. What else should you do to get your task response? See, it says presents a clear position throughout the response. So that's why right in the introduction, you say, in my opinion, you state your opinion. So that shows that you're giving a clear position. You state your opinion, you tell where you stand. Okay, so that's how you get your task. That's what is expected of you. And then presents and extends, supports main ideas, may have a tendency to overgeneralize. So we shouldn't be generalizing. See, it's talking about here. And so we shouldn't be overgeneralizing. We should use a cautious language. But that's a bit is allowed here. And we should always have supporting ideas. The second factor is coherence and cohesion. So there are 2 things: coherence and cohesion. Coherence means clarity of how your thoughts are presented. So that's why each paragraph should contain only about one topic or one topic sentence, one idea for every paragraph. If you put more than one idea, you'll be marked down here, because they say she's all around the place. They've written all around the place. It's not coherent. Okay, it's not clear. And the second thing is called cohesion. Mark it as very important. Cohesion means linking, or linking word. Every sentence should be linked to the sentence before it. All your ideas should be linked. So you use words like so one of the advantages are, so that is one linking word. So you are using a linking device to link you to the previous thing. So you use cohesive devices or linking words like firstly, secondly, including this, and in conclusion. All these are your linking words or your cohesive devices. It's very important for your band 7. Then what else you should be, so you should intentionally use it. So there is no problem with intentionally using it. And then there should be a clear central topic. Can you see? That's what they say: clear central topic for each paragraph. The third factor is lexical resources, which is, in other words, your flair of writing. So make sure that you use words that are not too common. So I always use this example, like sorry and apology. So you'll, instead of telling I'm sorry, you will tell I sincerely apologize for this. So you're using less common vocabulary. So instead of cooking, you would use words like culinary skills. So using less common vocabulary, that improves your lexicals resource. And then Spelling errors, only one or two are allowed. Be careful with your spellings. Unless you're sure of the usage of the word, don't use it. The last factor here is grammar range and accuracy. This is also important. So I'll come to this today. I think we are already running short of time. I wanted you to write an essay. Okay, we have about 50 minutes. We'll make use of this. So complex structures are important. That means you use both simple sentences and complex sentences. Simple sentence consists of one independent clause. So clause, what does a clause mean? What does a clause mean? Okay, what does a simple sentence consist of?
Subject, predicate,
And
and
the clause.
object.
So always, every sentence has a subject and a predicate, but a simple sentence consists of one independent clause. That means it answers its own question. So I say, um, a phone is on the table. So a phone is the subject, is your verb, on the table. The table is the object. So there is a subject, there is a verb, and there is an object. So there might sometimes be no object, okay, so because there might be no need for it. For example, if I say the boy is running or the boy runs, okay, so the boy runs, boy is the subject and runs is the verb. So that's a complete sentence. So sometimes there is no need for an object. So an independent clause uh, uh, is something that has a subject, has a verb, may or may not have an object. Usually has an object, but sometimes the sentence is complete. So you can't ask a question. Now, and that's an independent clause, or that's what a simple sentence is. But if you look at a complex sentence, there's something called compound sentence. I will come to that. That's not too important for you, but you will need to write simple sentences and complex sentences. Complex sentences are made up of two independent clauses. I'm sorry, one independent clause and a dependent clause. So, for example, if I say, the boy who runs um, was uh, was selected for the coaching or something. The boy who runs was selected for the coaching. That's a compound sentence. So if I say the boy is running and he is fast. So if I say the boy is running and he is fast, then that's an compound sentence again. So let's go on. I'll come to that. So it should contain, and my brain's not working, a simple sentence and a dependent clause, something that is dependent on it. Ira, can you help me out with a complex sentence?
I'm feeling like year 10 again. I can't remember.
Okay, my brain stopped working for some reason. So it should contain an independent and a dependent sentence. I will come to that. Don't worry about it. So
So, like, mm, um, I heated my food up. I heated my food in microwave. I'm just reading off internet. I heated it in microwave because my coffee is too cold.
So my coffee is too cold. I heated it in the microwave
Yeah.
because my coffee is too cold. Now, my coffee is too cold is your independent sentence. I heated it in the microwave because my coffee is too cold. So I heated it in the microwave. That is your dependent clause. So the dependent clause is always depending on the independent clause. And there is a linking word, because. That's the linking word. So it can either come before or after the independent sentence. So we'll come to that. There is a lot that you should know. Okay, don't worry about this. No time for this. Okay. Can you please take a picture, guys, of this? These are your verb patterns in each sentence. The verb in the ing form, imagine visiting this place, do not mind going. So this is just the verb in the ing form, visiting, going, signing. There's another pattern for this verb, that's having infinitive. So infinitive means any verb with a to. For example, I want to write or she wants to write. So that is to and a verb. Love to provide, manage to work, plan to study. All these are your verb patterns. This, and there's the next pattern of verb where there is a verb here: encourage, enable, forcing. So there is a verb, and then there's an object: encourage them, and then there is a to infinitive. That means a to with a verb: encourage them to move forward. So if you look at the next one, enable students to follow. So there is a verb, there is an object, and then there is an infinitive. So this is also one pattern of the verb. The first pattern was just verb with ing, no to, no nothing, no tails. Okay. Second pattern is to infinitive. Verb: would love to provide. Verb plus infinitive. The third pattern of a verb is verb, object, and then infinitive. So verb plus object plus infinitive. Verb plus object plus infinitive. This is also one word verb pattern. The last one is verb, object, and just the verb. Verb, object, verb. No infinitive here. Okay. So these are some of the verb patterns. Take a picture so you can go through this and try to construct sentences using these verb patterns. There are no rules, there are no hard and fast rules, but you have to keep looking at them. The thing is, you will not have a problem. Just telling you, this will help you in your sentence construction. Hedging, that's okay. Okay, so your discourse markers, these are a few of the discourse markers. To present your contrasting or contrasting ideas, you could use these. However, nonetheless, although all these are your discourse markers which you could use to write contrasting ideas. Okay, nominalization of the words is important. Okay, can you take a picture of this as well? So these are important for you to just understand sentence completion. Please take a picture. Okay, take a picture of these as well. These are also quite important for you. So this is important for you to show that you can write complex sentences. For example, you say, unless we can attract more talented young people into this kind of teaching, our children's education will start to suffer. So this is your independent clause. Our children's education will start to suffer. It is this sentence is dependent on this. This clause is dependent on this. Unless we can attract more talented young people into this kind of teaching, our children's education will start to suffer. So action must be taken urgently, otherwise. So all these are your linking words. This will help you to construct complex sentences. This is useful for your problem solution kind of essay. Can you write it in bold? For problem solution kind of essay, you use unless and otherwise. Okay. So discourse markers for your passive voices as well as for your complex sentences can be older nonetheless. To conclude, you could use these discourse markers. In summary, in conclusion, to sum up, to conclude, you can use these for conclusion. Okay, we've done this. Paragraph building. Okay, so your body paragraph should compose of a fully developed argument. Okay, so how to do your body paragraph? So if you're writing, if suppose this is your topic, some people believe that places such as libraries and theaters should have a minimum age restriction. Others think that children, however young, should be allowed in such places. What is your opinion? Guys, I'll need 1 minute. I'll be back in a minute. Can you please take a look at this? I'll be back. Just give me 1 minute, please. Take a look at this and start writing an introduction. Can you write an introduction for this? I'll be back in a minute. Are you guys still there?
Yes, we are here.
Okay. Can you hear me? All right, we'll go on with the body paragraph. I won't be checking your introduction. We'll just go on because we don't have a lot of time.
Okay.
So, how to write a body paragraph? Okay, we know that we first write an introduction. Introduction, how do we do it? We paraphrase it, we try to write an opinion right in the beginning, we try to give a plan and all that. Then we know that, suppose this is having two body paragraph. The first body paragraph, I might support this argument. Okay, children should not be, or there should be an age restriction to allow children here. Um, so I might support the argument that children can be allowed everywhere. So in body para 2, I'm going to tell about why children should not be allowed. So I ask my question. Okay, so why children should not be allowed? Because sorry, young children are noisy. So instead of writing young children are noisy, we use hedging, use a hedged language. We say young children can be noisy. We further hedge it. So you would use a discourse marker and say, however, so here you're telling that they can be allowed at any age. And here you're telling, however, so you're linking it to the previous paragraph. So here you're telling children should be allowed to the theater or can be allowed to the theater, and you give your argument. But when you're writing a body paragraph, you're telling, however, this is your theme. Young children can be noisy. So you use hedging, you'd say, young children can be noisy. Now you're linking it, you would say, however, some young children can be noisy. Or on the other hand, some young children can be noisy. This is your topic sentence. So topic sentence, and you put it like this. However, some young children can be noisy. Now you think of an example. Okay, noisy children. So you think of an example. For example, a young child may start to cry loudly just as the climax of the play is reached, ruining the atmosphere at the moment and affecting the audience's chance to fully engage with it. So you're giving an example to support your point of view, telling, however, some young children can be noisy. And for example, a young child must try to start crying loudly. Now, what you do is, between your topic sentence and your example sentence, you use a connecting statement. So, what is a connecting statement? What you ask yourself a question: what do I mean by this statement? However, some young children can be noisy. What do I mean by this? So, you would say, however, some young children can be noisy as they are not aware of the disturbance they may be causing to those who are using the facility to study or appreciate a performance. So you're elaborating your stance and then you write your example. Is this clear? This is how you write your body paragraph. This is the structure of a body paragraph. You write a topic sentence, okay? And to connect it to the example, you elaborate this. You ask yourself your question, what do I mean by this? So your topic sentence should be having a hedged language. Then you ask your question, what do I mean by this? And you elaborate on it. And then you use an example to back this up, okay? And then you use a supporting statement for the example. This may not be done, but these three things has to be done. Is this clear?
Yes, pretty much.
Ira?
I'm still a bit confused about hedging. I mean, I understood the concept, but actually use it,
Okay.
maybe I
So
need
give me a
practice.
minute.
Because while writing, I don't think about, oh, am I using like, the grammar parts?
Okay, let me see if I have any hedging exercises.
Yeah.
Um,
We can just go with a few hedging points and use them in the essay.
okay. Okay, if you look at this, if I give you a word like, maybe I'll pull out my Word document. You can see my, no, you can't. Can you see my Word document?
Yes.
Okay, suppose we are talking about a base array. You might say words like, so this is your topic sentence or something. Children are becoming a base because of parents feeding junk food. Okay, or another topic like um, okay. Then if I use a word, or if I use sentences like okay. Now, what does this tell you? Children are becoming obese because of parents feeding them junk food. What does this statement tell you? All the children everywhere, they're becoming obese every time because of parents always feeding them junk food. So this is a general statement. You're generalizing every children everywhere and parents all over the world. Okay? So when you're hedging it, you use words like this. In many cases, the reason for obesity in children is that parents, because of um, a fast or a busy lifestyle, feed them, often feed them junk food. So, how to hedge it further? So, it's say in many cases, or you would say the parents who lead a busy lifestyle in many instances end up allowing, instead of feeding, end up allowing junk food in their children's diet, thus leading to obesity in young children. Did you see what we did?
So we are giving a reason to justify their behavior.
Yes. So instead of telling, see, we do this in our daily life. Instead of telling someone to their face, we try and cushion them. So if you use words like this, the politicians are corrupt in these countries and hence robbing the country poor. So you would use words like, in many instances, or there have been many instances of corruption in the leaders of the nation, of these nations, further causing poverty, or further nations, which further is a reason for their poverty. So there has been many instances of corruption in a lot. So you're not generalizing in the leaders, you say all leaders, right? So you'd say in a lot of leaders of these nations, which further is the reason for their poverty. Now, try and hedge this one. There's no hard and fast rules, so you try.
In majority of cases, students tend to acquire less marks than expected in their exams if their grammar is not up to the mark.
Well done, because of grammar not being up to mark. Okay, this is the way to hedge it. So, can you see this one? 10-2. This is one of the biggest way or one of the most important way to hedge. In majority of cases, tend to.
Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to bring it up after we finish it, but you figured it out. So this is the most important way. Tend to, acquire, lean towards. So tend to, tendency, have a tendency, then leaning toward something. So all these are your hedging languages. So instead of telling something very upfront, very bluntly, you use hedged languages. So instead of telling mathematics is very hard for children, you would say in many cases, school children tend to find mathematics quite difficult, like that. Okay, quite difficult to solve or quite difficult to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tend to is the best way to always hedge a sentence.
Thank you so much.
No problem. So we'll move on. So this, and now what I want you guys to do is, so you're familiar with this structure, right? Put a topic sentence, elaborate, give an example, give a backup sentence. Now what we'll do is, there was one thing that I wanted to tell you guys. Okay, I don't know if I'll have the time. There are two things, adverbs, strengthening adverbs, and comment adverbs. I have to tell you this. Should I tell it now or should I tell you later? Okay. Strengthening adverbs are used in sentences to help you make your opinion sound really stronger. So words like this. So instead of telling, we use words like very, it's really strong, really big. So instead of that, we would say significantly, considerably, seriously, dramatically, drastically. So adverbs to strengthen your point. So words like this. Joining a sports club really reduces the risk of heart problems. We tend to speak like this, right? But when we write, we use these strengthening adverbs to strengthen our point, our opinion. So joining a sports club considerably reduces the risk of heart problems or significantly reduces the risk of heart problems. Here, using it comparatively, comparatively reduces the risk of heart problems. So you use these kinds of words to strengthen your point. Okay, so significantly, seriously, dramatically, drastically, instead of really and very, we use these words. So there is something called word order. So, for example, see if this is the word. Joining a sports club can significantly help to reduce. So we are using the strengthening adverb, but See, our word order is wrong. So how to give a better word order? Joining a sports club can help to significantly reduce. So it's not significantly helping to, but helping to significantly reduce. So it's very important that you have to take a look at this word order. Again, there is no rules for this. So for this, can really help to reduce or can help to really reduce. That is wrong. So you say can really help to reduce this. Can help to dramatically reduce is correct, not can dramatically help to reduce. So you have to, when you're using your strengthening adverbs, always pay attention as to how that word order has to be. So instead of telling joining a sports club can really help, you would say joining a sports club can significantly help reduce is wrong. So can help to significantly reduce this problem. So always take a look at your word order. Okay. Now, if I give you this, joining a sports club increase or reduce the risk of, can you use your strengthening adverbs for this? I'll give you about 2 minutes time. Maybe I'll expect you to do at least the first three. Can you use these strengthening adverbs and try and write the sentence?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So I'll pause the recording. I'll time. So how will the first one be?
I just use significantly again there. So
Okay.
joining a sports club can help to significantly reduce the risk of.
Can help to significantly reduce the risk of. Okay. So give me a minute. I'll just write it down. Can you see my screen or no? No, right? Sorry. Okay. So I'll just write your answer. Joining a sports club can significantly reduce. That's correct. Then instead of significantly can reduce, you wrote can significantly reduce the risk of. Okay. Then the next one, regular exercise.
I use greatly here. Greatly.
Improves or improves.
I use reduces. So regular exercise greatly reduces the chance of.
Chance of heart disease or something like that. Okay, so that's the way to get this done. Okay, there's something called comment adverbs to show your opinion and to acknowledge the reader's point of view. So I will show this to you after we write a body paragraph. So give me a minute while I bring out the topic for today. Okay. So this is your topic sentence for today. This is your topic sentence for today. Can you see it? Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of working from home. So since you have already practiced writing an introduction, I won't tell you to write an introduction. What I want to see is that grid, okay, talking about advantages and disadvantages of working from home. What is good, what is bad about working from home. And then I want you to write one, okay, first finish the grid and then you let me know. Then we will write a body paragraph. Is this okay? I'll give you 2 minutes to get this done. So take a
That's a grid, right?
Yeah, a grid, just the grid. I want to see what is good, what is bad. I just want to see your planning. Okay, so take a picture, please, because I'm going to add something to the slide. Please take a picture and I'll stop sharing my screen. Done?
Done.
Okay.
So we don't need to think about working like the grid has 4 sections.
Yeah.
So we
So,
don't have to think about the other side, right?
no, there is only only
Two.
good and bad about it. There is no another side to the topic.
Yeah.
Or you can use the office, but it's okay. Just working from home is needed. That's all you add. So don't. I mean, it's better to do it that way. So, do you want to tell me what is good about it?
So I wrote more freedom, more control your own over your own life.
So you could say more freedom, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you are writing, wait, let me pull out my Word document instead of this. So we'll build a paragraph together.
Okay.
Your plan, okay? Abhishek, please pay attention, okay?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So we are building a body paragraph. So do you remember what a body paragraph should consist of?
It
Topic
should have
sentence,
one
then
central idea.
yes, then
Example and a supporting sentence option.
Elaborate and then example.
there should be an example, but between the topic and the example, there should be a
Elaborate.
supporting statement for the or elaborating the topic sentence, right?
Mhm.
So here you ask the question, why? Why is this good or why is this bad? Then you give an example and you give a supporting idea of the example. Okay. I wanted to also explain passive and active voices and semicolons to your sentence structure as well as your simple complex sentences. Give me a minute. Active passive voices, semicolons, and complex sentences. Okay, time permits, I'll come to this. So your topic sentence was why? I mean, we have not yet started this, but your plan said first thing, more freedom,
Yeah.
freedom, and more freedom to work or more freedom to.
Like control your routine, basically.
Okay, so more freedom,
Or you can use like flexibility or some other word.
flexibility, or lack of micromanagement, something similar, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, how do we write our topic sentence, or what could be the topic sentence for this? So we would say so we use a linking word, right? One
Mhm.
of the main advantages of um, main
Work.
advantages of working from home is, you would say, the freedom and flexibility that a staff experience or that a worker experiences. This is your topic sentence. Now, you elaborate it. How do you elaborate it? So you would say why. So you would say experiences. What's wrong with this? That a worker.
Yes.
Okay.
Experiences.
All right. So what is how to elaborate this?
We can say that the staff can organize their work around their home schedule, or like stop and start working as they please.
Okay. So what you do is you add one linking word. So every sentence has to be linked, right?
Mhm.
So you would say, although working in an office
Yeah.
disciplines or um, makes a person adhere or all adhere to the disciplines. You'd say, what did you say? What was the sentence you just told, Ira?
That working from home allows you to arrange your work around your home life
From
or
home,
your
um,
Comfortable.
helps. Yeah, working from home enables a person to arrange work around his schedule,
Mhm.
thus not overburdening or thus not disrupting
Mhm.
the work life balance or thus helping. thus maintaining. Okay, although working in an office makes a person, so here you are showing your linking word, you're showing how you can put in two sentences. So although working in an office makes a person adhere to disciplines, to the disciplines of work environment. So you're showing a linking word and you're also using your passive voice. Working from home enables a person to arrange work around his schedule, thus maintaining the work-life balance. Is this clear?
Yeah.
So then you give an example. To or for instance, how or can you form an example? Maybe Abhishek, can you think of an example?
Uh, yeah, for example, an employee can make himself comfortable in the bed and
Can
yeah,
you can we write that? Or for example, um,
that's what comfortability means for me.
yeah, but we can't put that in an essay, no? So we can write, for
So
example,
we can say that yeah, an employee can grab a cup of coffee anytime he wants without taking uh,
or
any.
an,
Or like going to the gym or something like on his own schedule and then come back and start working.
for example, an employee can schedule his exercise, um,
Oh, has to be a professional. Okay.
exercise regime because um, during because of the flexibility
Of working hours.
that work from home provides, or because of the flexibility of working from home. Okay, then you give a supporting statement for this. So you could tell it can be seen, or many employees are found to enjoy a healthy workout regime because of the time, or because of what can you write? Many employees are found to enjoy a healthy workout regime because of um, the advantage the work life or the working from home arrangement provides. Something like this. Is this clear?
Yes.
Any doubts? Ira?
No, all good.
Just needs practice, that's all. But you're clear with the thing, right? You're clear um, with how to write a what should an introduction contain, what should a conclusion contain, and what a body paragraph should contain.
Yeah.
Okay, so it only needs practice. Now, one more thing before you go. Not I have to show you the active and passive voices. So please be with me. So this is one way to make passive voices. Can you write it? Although, and also complex statements. Can you write starting with a linking word? Although, nonetheless, nevertheless. All this is one way to start off writing with your complex sentences. Looking at the way that we did semicolon. Okay. So, okay. when to use a semicolon. This will also help you to improve uh, your GRA. So I'll just share my screen. Okay. So how to use semicolon to connect two sentences? Okay. So can you see this says, where is that? Although working in an office makes a person adhere to the disciplines of the work environment, working from home enables a person to arrange a works around his schedule. So thus maintaining the work-life balance. So to connect these two sentences, no, this needs a comma itself. For example, an employee can schedule his exercise regime because of the flexibility of working from home. So for this, you can always use a semicolon. So two independent sentences, can you see?
Mhm.
An employee can schedule his exercise regime. That's one independent sentence. Next one is flexibility of, because of the flexibility of working from home. No, this also can't. So if there are two sentences, two independent sentences,
That is
for,
a complex sentence, right?
yeah, this is a complex sentence. If there are two independent sentences for a compound sentence, so many employees are found to enjoy a healthy workout regime because of the advantage of working from home. Or you could say because of the advantage the working from home provides, uh, regime, um, regime, thus improving their quality of health, thus enhancing their quality of health, thus the employees or thus the workers enhance their quality of health. So if there are two independent sentences, see, this is a sentence by itself. Many employees are found to enjoy a healthy workout regime. You can put a full stop here. And if you look at this one, the workers enhance their quality of health. So what you do is you remove the linking word, two independent sentences. So one independent sentence, a semicolon, space, the second independent sentence, and you can improve your GRA too. So sentence formation for um, your grammar range and accuracy. First thing what you can do is start with linking word, like although this is there, so that is for comparing, or uh, however, or although, nonetheless. All this will help you to begin it. Nonetheless. Okay, this is one way. The second way is independent sentence, semicolon, space, independent sentence, or this is clause, called a clause actually. So after you write, you see how can I put a semicolon here and change your sentence like that, just like how we did. Is this clear?
Yes, all clear.
Okay. So we have about, oh, we are already past 4 o'clock. So that's the end of today's lesson. I'm sorry to stop so abruptly. It's because it's our first class doing this task too that we had to stretch it a little bit. I hope you guys were clear with what we discussed today. So I'll give you a homework for you to write your essay. Maybe the same topic that you just copied. Can you write an essay for that
Working
as
from
your
home,
homework?
right?
Working from home.
Okay.
Okay, then that's all. And thank you for coming to class. And I'll see you again tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.